What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Critical Overlord here. We're going to be talking about a few different horror topics in this video here today. We'll be talking about Scream 7, Predator Badlands, Mike Flanagan's Carrie. We'll be talking about Weapons, Final Destination 6, and Orphan 3. So starting off here with Scream 7, Jenna Ortega had an interview with The Cut recently where she made, or I'll say she addressed, the obvious as it pertains to why she left Scream 7. She stated that it had nothing to do with pay or scheduling. The Melissa stuff was happening and it was all kind of falling apart. If Scream 7 wasn't going to be with that team of directors and those people I fell in love with, then it didn't seem like the right move for me in my career at the time. Now, this comment has been what many people are jerking themselves off to the most today, but it is what it is. It's as expected. She has no long-term ties to Scream outside of what 5 and 6 are to her. Could Tara have shown up and done a movie without Sam? Sure. But like I had been stating, I do believe there are still some truths to the scheduling conflicts, but the scheduling conflicts go out the window when your film then shoots a whole year after the firing occurred and after Wednesday season 2 wrapped. But I do believe there are some truths to the scheduling conflicts. However, I also think that those scheduling conflicts for her became a priority when she saw how Melissa was being treated. I think Melissa's firing just aided in her saying, you know what, I'm not going to prioritize Scream 7. We already lost Radio Silence. Now we're losing Melissa Barrera. I don't want to do it anymore. She doesn't have to do it. And of course, people are like, oh, well, why does she keep talking about this, that, and the third? What do you mean? They get to talk about this just as much as Nev gets to talk about the pay dispute. This notion that they don't need to talk about it is very peculiar, because I know for a fact if the shoe were on the other foot and it was another pay dispute issue with Nev, we would be allowed to talk about this at no end. They can talk about their frustrations or whatever has transpired with this franchise and how it relates to their experiences. They're telling their stories. She's letting it be known why she left, and it was the obvious. And hopefully we'll see Tara Carpenter in the future under new leadership. That's all I can say about that. Well, what do you guys think about her comments? Are they shocking to you? Is it as you expected? Do you not care? Because I know the Carpenters don't always have their fans out there, but that's fine. I know many people aren't even fans of Sidney Prescott. It just is what it is. Let's now move on to talking about Predator Badlands. So some of the CinemaCon footage that I overlooked includes Predator Badlands. Last week at CinemaCon, there was footage. Shout out to you discussing film for another great breakdown of it. But the footage started showing a Predator crash landing on what could either be an alien planet or a post-apocalyptic Earth. For the first time in franchise history, the Predator is truly outnumbered, with alternating shots of human gangs hunting down the Predator with laser rifles. Elle Fanning plays a mysterious and possibly cybernetic human, since we see her eyes roll to an all-white, who is trying to help the Predator. We see a new variant of a Predator chief with long white braids performing some sort of ritual. There's a flurry of tiny bits that'll be exciting to explore further, namely a tease of a sequence involving a large subterranean chasm and plenty of showings for the Predator's new weaponry as he hunts all kinds of alien creatures. The teaser ends with Elle Fanning telling the young Yautja protagonist that what he's hunting is unbeatable, only to briefly see a massive kaiju-like creature that the Predator is going up against. The main Predator, without his helmet, lets out a mighty yell at the giant beast before he takes it on. Predator Badlands looks like an entirely new territory for the franchise, but one that builds on Dan Trachtenberg's excellent revelation of the series in Prey. Now, I can only say this. This description makes the film sound amazing in terms of what was showcased to everybody at CinemaCon. I am looking forward to seeing the film. I also will put out this bold prediction when it pertains to Predator Badlands. I think that at the end of this film, we're going to see a xenomorph. I don't know why. Something just tells me we're going to be setting the stages for our new Predator or Alien vs. Predator film with Predator Badlands. And whatever comes of this Romulus sequel too. I think we're going to be setting the stage for that. But I'm making a bold prediction right now that we will see a xenomorph featured in Predator Badlands. But what do you guys think about the description of this footage? Are you looking forward to this film? Let me know why or why not down in the comment section below. Now, I want to jump and quickly talk about Millie Shapiro potentially being cast as the titular character, Carrie, in Mike Flanagan's upcoming series adaptation of Stephen King's novel. So this came to us from Daniel RPK last week. I never got a chance to really talk about it, but I think this would be amazing. I haven't necessarily seen her in anything since Hereditary, but I loved her work in Hereditary, and I see all of you clamoring around why this would be perfect. It would be like a book accurate casting in terms of Carrie. And I think she would knock it out of the park. She did a wonderful job in Hereditary. I think she would do an amazing job with Carrie. I know also people have their gripes already with Mike Flanagan constantly adapting Stephen King's work. But hey, man, he does it quite well. He does it better than some of the other things I've seen in terms of adaptations of Stephen King's work. Mike Flanagan is like the king of adapting King's work. I'd say keep on doing it. If you're going to do it justice, why not? Don't fix something that isn't broken. Now, they're supposed to shoot this in Vancouver, I believe, this summer. So we'll see if this ends up becoming a reality. But again, the report is just that she's in talks, not that she has signed. So we'll see if she ends up signing and joins the project as the titular character, Carrie. Now, let's talk about Weapons, another CinemaCon piece of footage that I've gotten several DMs to talk about because I guess you guys don't remember the video I put out a few months ago. It's fine. But yes, we did get our first look footage of Weapons at CinemaCon last week. An exclusive first look. Again, shout out to you, CinemaCon, or I'm going to say Discussing Film, for yet another brilliant description of the footage. The trailer began with an eerie tone and shots of children going into school as the narration gives us the backstory of a day where all the children in the classroom of one teacher, played by Julia Garner, have gone missing. We're shown sequences of the teacher becoming a town pariah, with Josh Brolin as a father whose child was in her class screaming, "Why was it only her class?" There's a bleak sense of dread that only gets worse when Julia sees one of the missing children, only there's something deeply wrong with them. The rest of the trailer is far too quick to decipher too much meaning, so we'll go ahead and try to detail the highlights as best as we can. One shot shows someone vomiting blood, another features a mother attempting to harm themselves, and the most provocative of all is a wild look at a group of children crashing out of their school. The trailer closes on a teenager in the woods encountering an out-of-focus figure who waves creepily. By all accounts, this seems like a very different but equally intriguing successor to Barbarian and an incoming horror hit for Warner Brothers and New Line Cinema. Now, I will say this aligns with some of the things I have been tweeting and the video I did if you've been watching my coverage of Weapons. It's about a group of children that go missing, Julia Garner's class being the primary focus of this. But what isn't included in this trailer is the reality that, unless it's changed, one of these students did not go missing. One of these students did not go missing. And you are going to learn more about this student and how they are correlated to all of these disappearances when Weapons drops. But again, Weapons, from what I have gathered, what I have heard, what I have read, is going to be one of the best horror films this year in terms of just me being able to see it executed well on screen. Already what I'm hearing coming out of the positivity surrounding it, the fact that they pushed it up, I think this will be the best horror film of the year when it comes out. I think it'll be this year's long legs, if you will. Not in terms of quality, but the fact that people will be talking about this movie. I see it happening. That bidding war, all the stuff around it. Even myself, I don't fully understand the craze. It does seem like, a very standard, just well-crafted horror film. But upon seeing it, I think I'll fully be into why this movie is getting so much buzz around it. But it has a good story on paper, I will tell you that. What do you guys think about this footage? Let me know about that down in the comment section below. We're going to jump now and talk about Orphan 3. Orphan 3, we got an update from Isabel Fuhrman herself, who was at an event recently where someone from Bloody Disgusting was in attendance, so they wrote up an article about what she shared as it pertains to some plot details, small ones, about Orphan 3. I'm going to start off here in the middle of the article where it got juiciest. It said, for starters, Isabel Fuhrman confirmed that the script for Orphan 3 has already been written and that the twists are even wilder and crazier in this entry. And she also noted that while there was some trepidation in doing a second entry after the well-received first film told such a contained story, fan response to that sequel inspired the creative team to carry on with another installment. The biggest of news concerning this upcoming threequel came when I asked Fuhrman if the new film would be another prequel like First Kill, or perhaps a sequel to the original, which would be a surprise given her character's state by the end of that film's conclusion. Nevertheless, she delighted this fan by responding, both. Now see, we're getting a prequel and a sequel, and as someone pointed out, yes, I guess that's called a midquel. How they do that, I don't know, but the very first thing I have in mind is, where's Vera Farmiga's casting announcement? I smell it coming. I smell it. I hope it's coming. And how are they going to explain Esther surviving? Obviously, they can do it, but how? How did she survive that? And how many years later is this story going to be? Are they going to bring back the actress who played Max, who I don't even think she acts anymore, but I would love to see them bring back a few familiar faces. So Fingers crossed that Orphan 3 turns out being better than First Kill. I wasn't the biggest fan of First Kill. It wasn't a complete train wreck or anything like that. I just felt like that first movie was such a good breath of fresh air in terms of the way it was executed and that twist. Them trying to replicate it all with First Kill, it worked in some capacity. In other capacities, it just did not. So I'm all for just a full-fledged sequel, but if we're going to get in a mix of both, that's fine too. Just be good. That's all you can really ask for. Just be good when we have all this trash coming out. The last thing we're going to talk about here is going to be Final Destination Bloodlines. So Collider gave us this exclusive new image of Final Destination Bloodlines. This obviously is tied to the CinemaCon footage description of an MRI scene between two brothers, and yeah, we know what's going to happen to those brothers, but if you don't already know, that's why I'm not going to say it. But yeah, it's a pretty wild sequence, and if you want to go read up the description on said footage, it's out there for you to go read it. You can find it on Discussing Film. You can find it on other reputable trades. And yeah, Variety, The Hollywood Reporter, Deadline, a lot of trades have talked about this footage that was shown at CinemaCon. Footage that undermines some of the marketing tactics, but this is a cool image that we've gotten showcasing one of the brothers in front of a vending machine. You can only imagine what's going to happen with said vending machine, but you guys let me know what you think about all of this down in the comment section below. If you haven't already, of course, make sure you go ahead and subscribe, turn on post notifications so you can never miss a video. In the description, I'll have links to all of my social media accounts. I am on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can message me there, of course. Let me know if there's any movies, news, or reviews you'd like me to cover in the future. And with all that in mind, guys, I will see you in the next video.